Hello everyone, today we have the list that took Twitch Rivals by storm. It was operated and created by Moyen HS, and it did very well against a whole lot of decks. And it went undefeated, it won the whole thing. The main idea behind the list is to have multiple ways to push power on the board. You have ways to buff that power up after the fact with either Patriot or Silver Surfer. Some people said the Silver Surfer felt kind of niche and clunky. They ended up cutting it. But the games where you need Silver Surfer and you have the Brood and maybe the Brood Absorbing Man on the board, Silver Surfer just solidifies your victory in those scenarios. But overall, the deck runs very well. Keep in mind that it is still relatively new, so we haven't had time to adjust to it. There are going to be a lot of mirror matches. A lot of people are testing this list out. In my experience, there are some draws that will feel clunky or just not great. But then there are other ones that are just going to feel fantastic. So if you can weather the storm, if you can play it patiently, this one will pay out in dividends. You can completely surprise the opponent with how much reach you're able to get. And so the main lines, we have Legion as like a good mid-range. Sometimes it's going to take away Limbo. You can steal 8 cubes away. Sometimes you can use it in Central Park and completely cap the opponent out. We have Patriot, which will give us benefit from those squirrels more than the opponent. Same thing with like Raptor Valley, Monster Island. So many good locations for Legion. And so I think Legion would be a tough replacement. Iron Lad also is one of those consistency pieces, kind of like in the Nimrod build. Nimrod and Shuri are the main lines. In this one, it's going to be more like Brood Absorbing Man, but you also have Mr. Sinister to go with. Armor is a flex spot. I've seen some people add in Jeff because that's fantastic if Iron Lad hits your Jeff. I've seen some people add in Shang-Chi for that counterplay measure. And overall, I think all of them work really well. I've also seen some people take out the Chavez because they don't believe in the Chavez consistency driver, and they add in something like Iron Man to go over the top of the mirror match. But overall, I think there are going to be a lot of ways and a lot of variations of this deck over the next couple of days. Even if you don't run this one yourself, this is definitely one that you want to know, because I think you're going to be seeing it quite a bit, especially with it doing so well in Twitch Rivals. And so we're going to be jumping over into a couple games. Thank you guys, as always, for all of the support. You guys are amazing. We're nearing 39,000. If you're not currently subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. We're going to be jumping into a couple games. I hope you guys enjoy. We got very lucky with the Iron Lad, but that's not necessarily something you can snap into. That's something that you can play if there's no additional risk, but it's really hard to anticipate it and play it well. I've seen some versions also cut the Silver Surfer because honestly, all that you're bumping up here is your Broods or the Absorbing Man Broods, which you can get quite often with the Chavez. I've seen some versions cut Chavez. There's a lot of ways to run it. Moyen ran this version. They said that armor was the tech slot, and I'm gonna trust their judgment. They were able to win with this exact version, so that's what we're gonna go with. Let's go ahead and play Patriot out. We have the Mr. Sinister in the left lane. We can't do the Absorbing Man, and so we're just gonna play it as is. They could very well have a Forge into Brood again. Forge into... Okay, Forge into Mr. Sinister is not quite as bad as Forge into Brood, but if they have Absorbing Man, they can do the Mr. Sinister once again. I honestly don't have a great line here for any of it. Absorbing Man doesn't do us anything good. Yeah, we'll go ahead and snap out of this one. I expect you guys to see this deck quite a bit. To me, it feels okay. It doesn't do anything flashy, and I think that's why it's consistent. But at the same time, since it's not flashy, you can't surprise the opponent as often. And for me, when I'm leaning into Iron Lad or something similar, it's hard for me to snap as aggressively as when I have something like a Galactus deck, and I know I have the ramp, I have a Professor X lock after a Daredevil, or I have something that just absolutely just outpowers everything else. So like a Shuri, Kitty Pryde, Taskmaster, if I have that line, it's a lot easier to snap into it at that point. So with the Tinker's Workshop, we could go Iron Lad here. We have Legion. We have Brood or Patriot that the Iron Lad could hit. Otherwise, we're going to be doing something like Mr. Sinister into Absorbing Man, which is not bad. That's not a bad line for us to go with. Or instead of the Absorbing Man, we can go Mr. Sinister into Armor, but I don't know that the Armor is necessary. I like the idea of having the freedom for Iron Lad or Brood next turn if we draw into it. I know that for them, typically nowhere, it's going to be very heavy on own reveals, And so I think they probably lean a few of their lower cards over there where they can. We have the big house right now. We have a little bit of advantage there, but it really comes down to the buff cards and what we get out of those buff cards. And, you know, we've been playing it somewhat slowly, somewhat cautiously. I almost think now is the time to snap. We have the Brood, we have the Silver Surfer line. So we can always do Brood, we can do an Iron Lad somewhere depending on what we have next turn. Maybe we just throw Iron Lad into nowhere so that he gets some value there. Let's go ahead and snap on him. Brood and Tinkers, slow and steady is the pace. May not win the race, but that's the pace. All right, so we get Morag. Morag's decent for if we ever draw into Wasp. Wasp is also decent for just giving us a little bit of extra reach. But honestly, sometimes feels like it could be cut. We have Absorbing Man, so I think we go Brew, or I think we go Forge into the Unknown, Mr. Sinister or Brood into Absorbing Man on 4. That's our tentative line. It will fill out these two pretty nicely, but Morag still becomes that kind of question mark. They don't have anything on 2, so we're going to snap on them. We don't have the perfect line. But knowing that they didn't have a Forge, a Mr. Sinister, and Armor, they didn't have anything in hand. That makes it pretty tough for them to navigate this end round. And even if they have Iron Lad, odds are they have most of their end-game cards in hand. And so we were able to put them on kind of that difficult draw. We're going to start needing to play it aggressively, I guess. So Tinker's Workshop allows us to do Forge on 1 if we want to. I don't know that we do, though. That would allow a turn to Mr. Sinister if we draw into it, but I'm going to skip here, see what they do, see if they play anything. They didn't. Value the hand. Nothing of our... Oh, we could have played the Mr. Sinister out. That's a little unfortunate. Oh, well. It's fine. Let's do the Forge now. Hopefully we top deck Brood. That'd be beautiful. They have the Forge as well. Same variant, same not split, same border level. Kind of incredible. Okay, let's go Mr. Sinister. We have Wasp to reach over there a little bit further. We have Iron Lad as well. Whoa, they don't do anything on 3? Nothing on 3? Name. Say it isn't so. All right. We have some pretty good pulls for Iron Lad here. We have potentially Absorbing Man, the copy of the Mr. Sinister. We have potentially Brood. Fantastic. And then we have Patriot and Armor. And we do get the early retreat. We may see one of these go all the way through. Maybe. All right, high stakes round, so it is going a little bit quicker now. Ooh, Elysium is kind of crazy. Let's go ahead and play it a little passively. We could jump right in, play it super aggressive, but I don't think we need to. The Elysium bonus gives us a lot of reach. We want to bide our time, figure out where they do their big drops, and then adjust from there. So we're going to have the Blue Marvel. We have the Iron Lad that we can always do on 3. And just a lot of reach. So they do have the Forge. I wonder if they have Absorbing Man and Brood as well. Would be kind of unfortunate. All right, let's go I'm going to go ahead and go Armor, Mr. Sinister. We're going to fill up a lot of this lane. It's fine. It's fine. We don't need all that much aggression. We're going to fill up a little bit of this lane. I didn't think they'd continue to fill it up either, but it looks like they did. They do have the Mr. Sinister. There's a chance that we get a second Elysium, so we really don't need to open the floodgates. I wanted a Mr. Sinister played out just in case we wanted to play Iron Lad this turn. We would have some good possible pulls. We have, of course, the Legion. Legion, we have Patriot, we have Forge, and we have Wasp. So really good pulls except for Wasp. Iron Lad could also yank away the extra bonus. Let's go ahead and do the Iron Lad. We're fine with that. They do Absorbing Man to copy the Mr. Sinister. So great use of the Mr. Sinister, expanding some of these clones. It's really crazy really quick. So we get the Forge. Okay, so the Iron Lad Forge into the Brood is big for us. The middle location does copy Fist Tower, so no extra deep discounts. But it's fine. It's fine. We don't need them. Let's go Brood. And then with our discount, I think we just kind of pump the brakes for just a second. Just in case we draw into Absorbing Man. Absorbing Man goes here. Beautiful value. If not, then we can do Forge into like a Blue Marvel next turn. or even Blue Marvel into Forge so that they're a little bit uncertain of what our in-game strategy is. We're not going to snap all the way in, but we're pretty much full pot committed at this point. So the Blue Marvel comes down. That will buff up both of these. That plus Patriot could help their Mr. Sinister reach quite drastically. Our Broodlings here are fantastic for us. Let's go Blue Marvel into Forge. I do wish we had Absorbing Man to copy the Broodlings, but it's okay. Silver Surfer doesn't give us anywhere near as much like kind of reach. We know that we're going to draw into Chavez next turn, so it looks like we're probably going to be throwing, if that's the case, let's do Blue Marvel into this location. Blue Marvel, we'll go ahead and play Forge here because this is a pretty substantial lane. On the last turn, we can do Chavez plus Wasp over here to try to break that reach. I don't know that we get it. Without having the Absorbing Man, I do not know that we hit that. Their Iron Lad, what does their Iron Lad hit for them? Iron Lad hits Wasp. So if they have Patriot, they absolutely take this one home. But it's only one additional cube, one additional risk. So I think it's worth staying. It's not fantastic. It's just what it is. We're going to hope that they, I mean, maybe they're stuck with Patriot. Maybe they're going to do a Chavez somewhere. And if they just do the Chavez, that makes navigating this last turn pretty difficult for them. Okay, so Legion copying Elysium, not what, ooh, and the Patriot. So the Legion and the Patriot, we can beat that though. The middle location is ours with the 13 power Chavez because of the Forge that we used last turn. We were able to outpower the right lane as well, bringing it home for Moyen. I would not be surprised if mirror matches are absolutely everywhere today. I say give it a little bit of time, figure out if there's any hard counters to it, and then we'll know the true strength, but right now it's very strong. All right, next up we have Mr. Proto. I wanted to, in my head, I was reading it as Protato. I don't know why. We have Proto, like Prototype. First location is Lechugia. The second one is Central Park. Not fantastic, but honestly, not terrible. We do have the Patriot, which is going to help all of these cards. Let's go ahead and snap on it. If for some reason they're running Galactus, this becomes really tough. If they have a Killmonger, that does take away a lot of these one-cost cards. Makes a cheap death, but I think we'd be all right. We also have the kind of funky line of Legion into Central Park, which is always rude. We don't have the line of Legion into Central Park. It would have been nice to do this and then like fill up the rest of the lane, especially with us having Patriot on the board. It is what it is. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Let's go ahead and do Patriot. I want to prioritize that. I wanted to save Absorbing Man so that we could do, so we could copy something impactful, but maybe this is not an Absorbing Man game. Maybe we top deck Iron Lad next turn and we can lean in on that instead. So they have the Forge, okay, and the Kitty Pride. Ooh, so it's just like a Shuri deck, I imagine. And we do get the Iron Lad. Iron Lad, if it hits Silver Surfer, not fantastic. Forge is good. Brood is also good. I think we're going to play Iron Lad into Hell's Kitchen anyways. Even if it hits Brood, at least that gives us 12 power in this lane. Very, very admirable. No, it hits Wasp. And so now that brings that up to 8. Not terrible. They know that we're going to have a Wasp. With Blue Marvel, it'll bring it to 9. It is within Shang-Chi range. So maybe we do Blue Marvel and then we do Armor in this right lane. Whoa, did they have the perfect curve? The Kitty Pride in the Forge into Kitty Pride, the Kitty Pride into Hulkbuster, and they got the good flip here? Oh my gosh, I was too busy worried about our play and not enough about theirs. My goodness, that is such a devastatingly high roll. You can always do Armor, Absorbing Man, Wasp. We spread out in 3 lanes. They're going to be in only 2. But like 13 and 13. Oh, if they have the Shuri. Nah. Nah, you got your good flip. You got a couple of really good flips there, my friend. We'll let you have that one, Proto. All right, so we have both Mr. Sinister and Brood, and we have Blue Marvel, so good start. They snapped on us. Do they have the ideal line again? If so, I am so frustrated. We have Brood and Silver Surfer, so that's good. We're just going to go ahead and snap into it. Might as well push this one super heavy. We have a good line. Mr. Sinister into Brood, into Absorbing Man somewhere else, into Silver Surfer. It's huge value. They do have Kitty Pryde on 1 again. Do they have the Kitty Pryde, the Forge, the Hulkbuster? Do they have the whole, like, shebang, the whole package? If so, I'm so frustrated. Like, having the perfect curve happens so rarely. It's unfortunate. If that's what they have. Let's go Forge. Instead of Mr. Sinister, I'm going to go Forge. Since we do have the Brood, and we do want to compete for Asgard, getting the additional draw there is going to be huge for us. So the Forge is what we're gonna go with. Is it what we're gonna go with? The Brood into the White Hot Room is such big value now. But the Brood into Asgard gives us reach that we need. We don't want them to draw their key resources. Let's go Brood into Asgard. We're not going to fall for the White Hot Room trap. If we were able to fill it up this turn, maybe, because then we could just flood Asgard and just giggle at them. They had the No, don't tell me they have the Absorbing Man as well. I will throw just the biggest fit of all time. Not really. It'd be fine. Like, it happens. It's just the luck of the draw. But let's go Patriot. Next turn, we can go Mr. Sinister plus Wasp to get the extra energy on the last turn. I think Patriot will allow us to win Asgard, no questions asked. I think they do Kitty Pryde plus Hulkbuster here. It's so sad. No, you don't. No, you don't have it every time. Okay, the Spider Ham's fine. We're fine with the Spider Ham. I would have liked the I would have liked the Blue Marvel. It's okay. It's all fine. Everything is fine here. With the extra energy, we draw into everything except for Legion, because we'll draw into Chavez next turn. So let's go Mr. Sinister here. Actually, let's flip it. Let's flip it and reverse it. Let's go Wasp, Mr. Sinister. We'll cap out this. Ooh, we could also do Silver Surfer. Let's do that. We'll cap out this lane. We have the Silver Surfer on the last turn. We can do Absorbing Man Legion if we're worried about a Shang-Chi. Absorbing Man... Maybe not Absorbing Man Legion. I think we'll be one short. But we could do Absorbing Man. No, we'll be right at it. Anyways, this is what we're going to lock in. We're going to get they're going to get the extra energy from the White Hot Room. Oh, no! Well, it's been nice knowing you guys. It's been good. It's been real, but it hasn't been real good. We fully committed to the White Hot Room lane. They can do a lot of damage here. I have to retreat out. Like, I want to stay, but I just don't think we can match if they have Taskmaster. All they have to do is play a 1-power card here to tie. Because of the Angela, it's just not feasible, unfortunately. That White Hot Room steal was big. It's gonna take something to make this one happen. The Angela, the Kitty Pryde will continue to buff that up. It's gonna be really big. If we lose... Alright, so we have the armor. Let's go Patriot. We have Absorbing Man, but we don't have any of our really... our spread or go wide cards. So I'm just gonna stack the Patriot into Hala. And then we'll see. The Hulkbuster into Angela. Interesting. They must have a really high-end hand this time around. So the Lechugia is now gone. We can play over there. We can play to the right. Legion's not really what we were looking for here either. We're going to throw Forge. Iron Lad gives us a lot of chances to hit the extension that we need. Or we can draw into Brood or Mr. Sinister naturally to be able to do an Absorbing Man as well. Very, not looking great. Not looking great. Honestly, not feeling all that great either. All right, let's do the Brood. Brood's big here. Into the Absorbing Man is pretty decent. We have the Patriot, so that helps both of these. Let's send it. Let's Send it to the gulag. We might as well go down absolutely swinging. We're going to snap back, letting them know that we are the ones in charge here. They could probably outpower us here, I would imagine. The Black Bolt. We lose our Wasp. They're running Black Bolt? This is a Shuri deck? Unfortunate. Truly unfortunate. I do wish we had the Wasps to like push a little bit somewhere else, but I'm going to go Absorbing Man to the right. We're already fully committed here. This is going to give us 14. It's a decent push in this lane. Not as good as we would like, but it is what it is. Captain Marvel giving that buffer of 5 power that can move anywhere that they want. Is it enough? Probably. Hopefully not. No, it's not! We do hold down the 4 cubes just with the Patriot Brood Absorbing Man. So you can put a lot of late game power here in weird ways. We're alive. We are absolutely alive. Had they had a stature alongside that Black Bolt, we didn't have a chance. Okay, we have armor into Patriot again. So we're looking for the Mr. Sinister, the Brood line. The Luke's Bar... It's not terrible. We throw a Mr. Sinister down there. We throw a Mr. Sinister later somewhere else as well. It's not bad. It leaves a decent space for our Patriot. They do have Forge. So we'll see. We'll see what they're forging into. Captain Marvel can always move into Luke's Bar, so we do need some greater reach there. That's not terrible. A 3-cost Blue Marvel, which I don't know that they've seen our Blue Marvel. Oh, they have. They've Spider-Hammed it. Our Iron Lad is the only thing crying here. It's fine. We get the Mr. Sinister again in Luke's Bar. Since it's 2 cost, 2 power, we're going to continue. We're just going to go ahead and focus on that. We're not going to do anything into Hala. I don't want to accidentally get our stuff destroyed. But we do want to push for winning Luke's Bar. The Spider-Ham comes down. It hits our Iron Lad this time because it was inverted, so we get the value of Blue Marvel here. Let's do Forge. This is the way. This is the way, my friends. Let's go ahead and snap into it. If they didn't realize how tough of a spot they're in already, this is going to, I think, solidify it. We have Forge. Forge will bounce back in. We have Mr. Sinister. That is going to be a 5-power Mr. Sinister. It's going to bounce back in. We can then do the same thing on turn number 5 if we want to. We could do Forge. It'll bounce back into a Mr. Sinister somewhere. Into the Blue Marvel in the last turn. Luke's Bar is just going to be treacherous for him. And then Luke's Bar is fine if it gets copied with like a Legion that we weren't anticipating. The only thing we worry about is a Black Bolt on the next turn. Okay, Shuri is big, and it's going to bounce back in. Okay. I guess the Kitty Pryde could be 0 cost. It goes up to 4. Let's do Forge one more time into a Brood. On the last turn, we have something like Blue Marvel, Silver Surfer. Which is just going to give us absurd value all across the board. And so the Forge comes back down. It makes this 5, but we get 2 Patriot bonus tokens. Just a lot of value here. A lot of unfortunate value for my friend Proto. They get a lot of unfortunate value on us in the Kitty Pryde. And so, I mean, they may be able to have us with like another Shuri Kitty Pryde into a free Taskmaster. We haven't seen the Taskmaster, but I'm very certain that it's out there. I think they split between these 2 lanes, knowing that they've lost Luke's Bar. So I'm going to heavily commit to the left lane with the Blue Marvel, with the Silver Surfer buffing up these 3. Buffs this one a little bit, but I don't think this is our winning lane. We could always, you know, do the Forge Mr. Sinister here to get value spread across. But if they're going with something like a Shuri, Kitty Pryde, Taskmaster, we need to have high value in 2 of the 3 lanes, or in the left lane especially. And so the Shuri, the Kitty Pryde, the free Taskmaster, we win that left lane by 1 point of value. Oh my goodness. We are coming back against Proto with a vengeance. And so, you know where earlier I was saying it doesn't feel great sometimes it can feel great. They doubled their kitty pride 3 times there. The 22 power comes down, and we were able to just barely, mind you, but we were able to hold our own. Whoa. Okay. And so this round is pushing Proto all in, pushes us all in. It doesn't push us all in, but we can lose this one, and then it comes down to a final match last round, if that's the route that it goes. We have so many cards that can spread wide here. Let's do the Mr. Sinister, then we'll do Brood, and then Absorbing Man. If we get a Patriot, beautiful, beautiful finisher here. Hopefully, we're hoping. They didn't have anything great on turn 2, so they used the Agent 13 from the hub. It's not a great sign for our friend Proto. Lemuria. Nothing is going to reveal in because of Lemuria. Brood, Absorbing Man. Maybe we don't even use Forge this game. So Brood here, next round would be like Absorbing Man. We save the Forge for a rainy day. I think we do focus on the Broods. We could either do that or do Forge and then off curve do the Brood and Absorbing Man. But I like the idea of doing the Forge now. Or not the Forge, the Brood now. So that we have as many little Forgelings as possible. So we have the Brood. Let's go with our Absorbing Man. We have our Wasp. Worst case scenario, we have Blue Marvel, and we have spread all across the board. So we will get continued value in those lanes, even after the fact. So if we were up against something like Professor X Lock, we get some decent value here. The Angela is big. Into the Shuri. Okay, they could do Black Bolt to do a 14 power Black Bolt. They will have to do it here. We're hoping they kind of, honestly, I don't hope they forget and play it in the wrong lane. Seen it done quite a bit. Let's do our Blue Marvel. Let's go ahead and do Wasp as well. The reason I want to go ahead and do Wasp is because we are anticipating the Black Bolt. Now that we've seen Black Bolt, we know that it's a part of their curve. We want to play our 0-cost card out because we are okay with armor or Forge getting destroyed. I think on the last turn of the game, it's going to be a Silver Surfer Negasonic type of scenario, which is going to help us pad the Bifrost location. Blue Marvel, huge, spreading the power. The Black Bolt, we did get the read right. The Black Bolt comes down. 14 power here is massive, but not going to be massive enough. Let's go Silver Surfer. We have initiative. Silver Surfer, Negasonic. He's going to make sure we probably win this lane, especially if they go with like a Taskmaster. And then we get the bump here and the bump here, courtesy of the Brood Absorbing Man. And it's just going to be a little too much to handle. So this one, you're going to go through some bad draws. Just like any deck that is combo heavy, you're going to go through some bad draws. But if you can weather the storm, if you can play it patiently, there are games where you just absolutely flood the entire board and there's not a thing that the opponent can do. So right now, besides like a Cosmo would be kind of tough to match against. But outside of that, we have so much early game value that just continues to get better as the game progresses. All right, our Silver Surfer coming down, securing the win. The left lane is fine. They go Shang-Chi of all things, and it is not going to be enough. Our little bitty Broodlings are just below that Shang-Chi range. The right lane we win as well for a complete sweep of Proto. Very good games, my friend. We had some really close matches. We were able to hold it out in the end. Thank you guys as always. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give a like and a comment down below. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.